pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the September 5th Board of Public Affairs meeting. First on the agenda will be to approve the minutes of the August 15th meeting. Already been presented with the minutes. See any additions, corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the August 15th board meeting as written.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Karen? Yes. Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Annette? Yes. Tom?
Next on the agenda will be a hearing for public concerns. Seeing none, we'll move on. Next on the agenda is a presentation and a possible resolution regarding natural gas supply for generation.
All right, we have just a few slides prepared for you tonight. What we want to do is talk about our natural gas supply for generation and how we go about securing and purchasing that. So first we want to talk about the current agreement that we have. This agreement is for the firm gas transportation service, and what this agreement does is kind of lays out what the demand charges are and what the commodity price is. So on the left there, the demand charge, we're charged $13,000 for each run up to 10 runs. Then if we exceed 10 runs, we're charged $5,000 for runs between 10 and 20, and then $2,500 for each run in excess of 20. So that's currently how our demand charges work. And then the commodity price, that's the gas price. What we pay for that, that's the month ending NYMEX high. And the NYMEX is the trading platform that sets the market price for the commodity. So just for an example, if we were to generate on January 10th, we would be billed for the NYMEX month ending January 10th. So that's what firm gas transportation service agreement does. And this will remain in place as we go to the next couple of options as well. So what are we considering? We're considering a transaction confirmation for immediate delivery. Ohio Gas has presented us with 3 different options of how to purchase and secure gas. And really what caused this is Winter Storm Elliott. We've talked about that event multiple times. But what's happening now is large generating companies are purchasing up the capacity in the pipelines now. So that's what has led to these 3 options. So we'll go through each option. I realize and apologize, there's a lot of information on each slide, so I'll just try to jump around a little bit and highlight the main points of it. So CityGate storage option number 1. This option is exactly what it says it is. It's storage. So what we would potentially do is purchase 25,000 MCF this September, and that gas would be placed in storage for use during the months of December, January, and February. This option does have a demand fee to put it in storage of $610,000. The fixed supply commodity cost, or the price for gas right now, is estimated at $75,000. And that was estimated at $2.50 in MCF. The benefits, the advantages to this option is that the gas is in storage. The capacity is available during those winter peak days when we're called upon to generate. And it also reduces our exposure to any penalties for missing a 1 CP or maybe in the future a 5 CP event. We're going to purchase 25,000 MCF in September for December, January, and February, but if we don't use all of that, that unused portion does roll over into the summer peak season, so it's still available to be used. This option is probably the most cost conservative option. There's price certainty, there's a fixed cost because we'd potentially be buying the gas this month, which is in a shoulder month, so the price is lower, and we're locked into that price as opposed to paying a daily market price in, say, January. So we're locked in now. This option also provides the most protection of our annual transmission and capacity savings. So for this year, we've seen about a $4 million savings from the transmission and capacity. A little too early to tell what it will be next year, but I can tell you that that number is probably well north of $5 million. So the end goal is to protect that savings for our customer. And this option is probably the lowest risk. Is there any questions on this option or anything you want to add to it, Jim?
Derek, I have one.
Yep.
That's absolutely guaranteed delivery, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So CityGate Sellback option number 2. So there's no call limit, but we have available to us 5,000 MCF a day. And that's if the capacity is there. That doesn't guarantee that we would get it, but we can call upon it. The demand fee for this option is 0. The commodity cost or the price of gas is based on the monthly NYMEX settlement. It's $1.25. So if that monthly settlement was $7.96, we're buying it at $8.22. And then each day, that 5,000 MCF is available to us. What is unused, we would sell back to the market at the daily market price. This option, there's no storage. So again, is the capacity going to be available, you know, in those cold winter days when we're called upon to generate? We did look back at January of 23 and February of 23, and every day was a loss selling back to the market. So essentially we have an expense and we didn't even generate. This option does come with a high risk, floating daily price, and overall it's more of a moderate to high risk option. Is there any questions on this one that you want to add, Jim?
Just remember that we have to buy 5,000 every day and sell that.
So there's no demand fee for this, but then there's no guarantee that the gas would be there. Even if the gas is there, there's no guarantee that there would be enough. Even if there's gas there, there's no guarantee that there would be enough gas for what we would require.
Correct.
And like Jim just said, we have to buy 5,000
Every day.
that day. So the price would be, like you said, it would be $7 plus whatever the going market rate was, plus
$1.25.
where this one on option 1 is a straight $2.50.
Well, whatever we purchase it at.
Well, yeah.
Yes, at the daily
Whatever the
price
NYMEX.
purchased.
Whatever the market is.
And I'm just using that $7.96.
I know,
as an
no,
example.
I get it. So there's an additional charge on option 2, but not on option 1.
Correct. Any other questions on option 2?
I guess what I don't like is that if we need it, we may not have it.
Yeah.
And hate to miss.
It'd be hard to explain.
Okay. CityGate option number 3. Again, that we can call any 5 days at 5,000 MCF. The demand fee for this option is $387,000. The commodity cost or the price of gas is based on the daily spot market price. But this option does come with prior day notification by 8:30 a.m. So if Jim calls Ohio Gas tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and says, hey, I'm going to run Thursday, we're locked in. But Thursday afternoon, the load decreases and Jim says, I don't need to run, we're still paying for that gas. So there is a penalty with that. Again, this option, there's no storage. When you look back at January and February of 23, We didn't generate, but we would have had demand charges. So again, we would have had an expense without generating. This option has a high risk with the floating daily price, especially during that December to February time period on those cold days. This option probably does have the lowest potential cost, but probably has the highest risk as well. Any questions on force majeure is in play? Any other questions, comments?
You got any more to add?
So we've had a lot of discussions the last few days and dug pretty deep into some of this stuff and analyzed it. We would recommend to the board option number 1, which is the storage option. We feel like this option has the least risk exposure to the daily market prices, that it provides the most protection to the transmission and capacity savings as well. As we talked about, we would purchase gas this September, and then the demand fee would be paid half in January of '24 and the other half in February of '24. We do have $200,000 that are appropriated in the '23 budget. That was for an additional transfer to the electric capital that we've not made. So we could utilize those funds this year and encumber those. We also could utilize the power supply. Power supply costs in 2023, they've been down. We've talked about the various credits that we've gotten, and also from the transmission capacity savings. So there's funds available there to utilize. Then also with the gas generation line item, we've ran so few times this year because we hit that 1 CP in December, that there's funds available there as well. So we'd recommend at a minimum, near the end of the year, we encumber $200,000 for the demand fee, for the demand charge. We continue to monitor the budget, and as we get closer to the end of the year, we can encumber additional or potentially all of the funds. What this does, it lessens the impact on the 2024 budget. It doesn't create a hardship for our customers. And then as we go on, we can continue to evaluate these options. Not encumbering the funds until the end of the year. The interest rates are doing pretty well right now, so we're getting pretty positive returns, so we want to leave it in there as long as we possibly can. We do have draft resolutions prepared for each option. I would encourage the board to act on one of the options, especially if you were to go with option number 1, to purchase that gas in September while we're in a shoulder month and the cost is low.
If we would wait till October, chances are is that the agreement would be no longer an option, number 1.
I think as Tom hit on, I don't even know how to start this, but option, it seemed, just my opinion, option, it's a no-brainer. You've got to have that guaranteed delivery because we can't afford to miss. See, PJM is hitting about having one of their 5 CP runs during the winter this year. We could not afford to miss that. Because we'd have to pay the penalty, and of course, with the power supply cost, that's going to add to the customer's bill. But it's just my 2 cents.
I think it's my 2 cents too.
Okay.
So this has to be looked at every year?
I think as we continue on through the year, we can look at it.
I mean, is this just,
It's just like a 1-year contract?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, so the delivery period is December 1 to February 29th. So, it's essentially 1 year.
So we would have to go through this again next year, possibly?
Possibly.
We're not here. We don't want to say, okay, we're going to always stick with an option 1. we want to look at it every year.
I believe that's what we would do, yes.
Because is it fair to say that weather events have set this in motion? So we don't know what's gonna happen. Is there gonna be another hurricane or tornado or?
Derek, one of the things that Bob brought up to us is that Indiana generation already bought 45,000 MCF per day for their generation. So they've already bought up a piece of the pipe that no one can get now.
Yeah.
And it's starting with other generation places that run 24/7. They're buying up pipe space, so there won't be any available
Yeah.
for the peak.
Which make them more expensive.
It's hard to say in the future if they'll even give you 3 options. Maybe they'll boil it down to 2, change some of the details and, yeah. They had to start somewhere. I like option 1 myself.
Plus, we don't quite have the leverage to negotiate like some of these.
These are all pass-through costs too. That was one thing that was pointed out too.
I'm not crazy about 1, but I know I don't want 2 or 3. I think you'd be foolish not to act.
Yeah. Let's see everybody else.
Personally, I think we should pass it. 1,
Make motion.
I'll make a
We
motion.
need to read the resolution.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's all right. This is option 1, resolution number 15, 2023, authorizing the Director of Utilities to execute a transaction confirmation for immediate delivery of gas services with Ohio Gas Energy Services Company and declaring an emergency.
I will make a motion that we approve resolution number 15.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you, Mayor. Next on the agenda will be a resolution to authorize a non-binding letter of interest for the USDA New Era Grant Program for upcoming renewable energy projects. Please number me.
This is resolution number 16, 2023, authorizing Bryan, Director of Utilities, to submit a non-binding letter of interest in the USDA New Era Grant for participation in renewable energy projects with American Municipal Power Incorporated.
So AMP is pursuing a grant opportunity through the New Era program, which could potentially provide a 25% discount on new power purchase agreements for renewable sources. For submittal to this program, AMP's evaluating several different solar projects, as well as a dispatchable hydro project. So as we continue to look for replacement power for the expiring BP remaining requirements contract at the end of '24 and for our power supply needs beyond 2026, AMP's made several recommendations to us. So this non-binding letter of interest is for 4.7 megawatts of combined power from the to-be-determined solar projects. There's several of them in there that are being evaluated. And then 1 megawatt of power from the Smoky Mountain Hydro Project. The deadline for AMP to submit to the grant opportunity is September 13th. So they're requesting that non-binding letters of interest be returned to them by September 6th. Power purchase agreement terms and pricing continue to be evaluated. And then a firm commitment for any of our participation in the project would be expected sometime in November or December of 2023. Again, it's non-binding. That's simply the recommendation right now. We can continue to evaluate each of those projects, but I would respectfully request approval to authorize the non-binding letter of interest.
I have a question. So the 4.7, so it would be like a little bit of each one of these solar fields? And I'm going to assume that the reason there's a piece of each one is just because location in the country to keep it more steady in the generation of solar power.
Yeah, so each one of those projects, that was kind of the bundle of them, so that breakdown hasn't been determined yet. But yeah, they are located, if I remember right, a couple in Ohio, and I think one is in Illinois.
So hopefully decrease the ups and downs of the generation.
See, we kind of did the same thing last year with the solar project. We have
Yeah, so
basically the same thing.
This letter of interest is separate from that. That was about a year ago. We had a resolution for a solar PPA. This is completely separate. That project more than likely will be eliminated, but I don't have any additional information about it right now.
So this will help replace what has fallen off?
Yes. And as we look at 2024 and beyond.
Which was a big chunk.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big chunk.
Because it was all wind turbines, if I recall?
We have wind and landfill gas.
And we can stay in this agreement for 20 years.
Yeah, the terms are still kind of 20 to 25 years. They're still kind of, haven't been determined yet.
And can they add more solar or more hydro as the
Yes.
contract goes on? That's pretty good then. So that means if they add more, we could get a bigger percentage off discount. Maybe? No talk about that yet either. Okay.
Again, it's just a non-binding, it's just a letter
For right now,
of
yeah.
interest. You know, any other questions?
I guess I have one more. Is there any reason, I mean, I realize this is just a letter of interest, but would there be any reason why we wouldn't make, so we're going to use, I'll call it the could, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
You're talking for the grant.
Yeah.
AMP is submitting for the grant opportunity, so I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Don't read any more into it, that's what it is. Okay. For right now.
Any other question? Conversation? Not entertain motion to adopt resolution 16.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 16.
Second?
Annette?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Next on the agenda will be a motion to approve the street tree donation to the Parks and Rec Department.
So request for a motion to approve a $4,000 donation to the City of Bryan Parks and Rec Department to replace street trees and help the City of Bryan remain a tree city. The Board of Public Affairs has approved this donation for the past several years. The 2022 approved donation was able to assist the Parks and Rec with the planting of 57 landscape-sized trees along streets and in parks, 26 landscape trees in what will become Lincoln Park, and 20 native conservation trees that were planted at the retention pond. In total, 103 trees were planted in 2022, and the Board of Public Affairs contribution assisted with 25% of the tree planting. I would respectfully support the approval of the annual tree donation to the City of Bryan Parks and Rec Department.
What was our donation last year?
I believe it was $4,000. Yes.
Questions?
Glad we can do our part.
Yep.
I'll make a motion, we approve the donation.
Second. Jim?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Dick?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is a request to hire a utility office.
Evening, everyone.
Evening, Jimmy.
This is a request to hire Dakota Shook as a probationary account clerk 2. This would be effective September 18th of 2023. Dakota has experience in billing, scheduling, payroll, customer service, and office management. She also holds a Bachelor's of Science in Individualized Studies from Bowling Green State University. All of her pre-employment screenings and background checks had already came back to us. With that being said, we would request that the employment of Dakota Shook as a probationary account clerk 2 be approved this evening.
She has good credentials.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
I'll second it.
Jim?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Next on the agenda will be a request to put a water department employee on regular employment status. Jimmy?
Yes, this is a request to move Andrew Stanley from the probationary water treatment operator trainee to regular employment status as a water treatment operator trainee. Andrew has passed his Class 1 water supply certification. He is also certified in our lab as a certified lab analyst and a backflow prevention tester as well. Andrew can perform all the essential job functions and meet all the requirements. So I would respectfully request that Andrew Stanley be put on regular employment status.
Sounds like he's doing real well.
He's accomplished a lot.
Good. Question? Comment? Not, I'll entertain a motion that we are taking her probation to regular employment.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Karen?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Next on the agenda, semi-monthly disbursement. I'll entertain a motion to pay the bills.
I will make a motion that we pay the bills.
I'll second.
Annette?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen? Yes. Tom?
Yes.
Next on the agenda will be comments for the EPA and staff. We'll go backwards today. How about you, Mr. Jim?
No, thank you, I've made enough comments.
Jimmy? Thank you. Lucas, you got anything to say?
No, sir.
Terry?
I've got a couple things. First, would like to congratulate Stuart Martin. Stuart recently passed his Ohio EPA Distribution 1 certification. Also would like to congratulate Todd Stinfley. He passed his Ohio EPA Distribution 1 certification as well. Also want to congratulate Noah Landel. He just completed his 2-week basic line worker 1 training at Hampton, Columbus. Also an update from the call for mutual aid. We had 2 linemen leave last Tuesday for Florida. They spent the first couple of days in Tallahassee. Friday they were remobilized to the Suwannee Valley, which is just east of Tallahassee. They're still there working, but the thought is within the next day or so they'll be released to come home. Also want to welcome Dakota to the team. Glad to have her. Congratulations to Andrew Stanley for his regular employment status. And then also we did receive word Friday afternoon that the ERA grant that we applied for the Augley's plant, we were not invited to participate in the full application. I don't have any additional reason why. The response was just simply not invited. So the Ferguson group is going to do a little bit of looking around and asking questions, kind of maybe to find out what we missed out on. But it sounds like maybe the program was oversubscribed and the competition level was very high. So unfortunate news, but we'll continue to look for other opportunities there. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to thank Jim and Sylvia both. They put a lot of work into this gas agreement, digging up facts and figures, and we had a lot of good discussions. So I want to thank both of them. That's all.
Mr. Sprow?
That was a mouthful. You covered about everything. I just wanted to welcome Dakota as well, and congratulations to Andrew for moving up. It's always good to see that people are getting certified and just keeping their training going, and an asset to our organization.
Yes, I agree. It is good to see these guys go in and get their certifications and get some education behind them and give them more chance to move up in the future. As we've often said, you can, if you just get the right qualifications, the right training, it can happen. I was wondering about a little bit of the electrical failures that lasted a period of time. Your field specifically, is there anything on the electrical failures out there that you would know about, Jim?
Were you talking on Saturday?
Hmm?
Were you talking on Saturday?
Well, this was from July's.
Oh.
This was in our board packet. Sorry,
I have to get back to you.
You can give me a call later on that. This is a long time ago, but I was just wondering if it was ongoing or what was going on back then has been fixed.
I don't think it's ongoing. I mean, I hate to say it because I don't remember exactly what it was.
Didn't mean to make you stumble there.
I know that in July, we did lose an LA out at Curtin someplace out there, and it just took a while to get into where it was.
Yeah. I just 240 minutes, 290 minutes, that's pretty extensive for us. It's very unusual for us to have power loss for a very long period of time like that, so I just,
But I know that we got it down to a very small number.
Yeah.
Because we had a guy come in and help switch stuff around until they opened up some switches, and then we were able to
yeah,
power most of the place back up.
yeah,
I remember that.
okay. Very good. Other than that, just squirrels and other wildlife.
Well, you gotta
That's
remember,
typical.
this is the time of year I'm watching them do it now.
What's
The
that?
tree rats carrying the walnuts and stashing them. And they
Uh-huh.
always go into them transformers. Boom. Thanks, Karen. Annette?
Well, I'd like to offer congratulations to Dakota and a welcome aboard. Congratulations to Andrew Stanley. Keep up the good work. And as Derek mentioned, congrats to Stuart and Todd and Noah. So that's good news. And then it's always good to see communities helping communities. So it's good to hear that the linemen did go down and they're still down there helping out in Florida. And then always happy to do our part to the Parks Department, help with the trees.
Jim?
Yeah, welcome Dakota to the utility, and congratulations to Andrew. I'll sleep a little better knowing that we're gonna have gas for the turbines, regardless of how I feel about the agreement.
Yeah.
It's something we have to do. That's all I got.
Hey, again, welcome Dakota to the team. Congratulations to Andrew on his regular employment. And that's about all I have to add. With that, we'll be taking a break, and then we're going to go into executive session to discuss the employment compensation of a public employee and discuss pending litigation. So with that, we'll be taking a break. We'll be joining council.
I would recommend adjourn this meeting.
Are you going to adjourn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're going over there and just open the meeting.
Oh, okay. I've had to do this one before.
It's different.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Annette?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Meeting adjourned.